guys, so sorry about the wait, but once again, it is time for one of these after videos. I always do a video after we get some big Smash news, like a character reveal or a Mr. Sakurai Presents, just to reassess where Smash speculation is at currently. I know it's been a while since the Mr. Sakurai Presents Kazuya video, and while sometimes I take breaks before making these videos, this one got really delayed far longer than I meant it to. Various things got in the way, like my life just being busy in general, and I got sick for a little while there, so my apologies if my voice isn't as enthusiastic as usual here. I'm still recovering a bit. Anyway, I have a lot to say after this one, and with just one character left in Fighter Pass 2, mattering to how they reveal the final fighter, there might not be many more of these after videos left to dig into anyway. So I figure taking my time and making sure I cover everything worth covering here is a good idea anyway. Plus, this is sort of the beginning of the last leg of Smash Ultimate speculation. So try to think of this video not only as my after Mr. Sakurai Presents Kazuya video, but also the first speculation video focused on our final Fighter Pass 2 DLC fighter, Challenger Pack 11, who is likely to be the final Super Smash Bros. Ultimate character. I know it's sad to think about being down to just our final fighter, but whether you're sad or happy we're at the end here, let's jump right in. So Kazuya Mishima was revealed to be Challenger Pack 10 at E3, and Sakurai went over his very unique moveset during the Mr. Sakurai Presents Kazuya video shortly after. We got Kazuya released a day later on June 29th. Now a few weeks later, after having played a bit as Kazuya myself, I personally found him to be my favorite of the fighting game characters in Smash. His moveset just kinda clicks with me the best out of those characters. I'm not sure why that is exactly, maybe just the Tekken style attack animations are more familiar to me or something. Not sure, but I'm enjoying Kazuya whatever the case may be. We also got version 12.0.0 released alongside Kazuya, and my boy Banjo got some buffs in that patch, so I was happy about that. One of my other favorite Smash fighters, Little Mac, got some interesting attention in the presentation. When Sakurai played as Kazuya and fought 5 fighters Kazuya threw off the cliff in that reveal trailer he had, Kazuya's squad consisted of Ryu, Ken, Terry, and Little Mac, oddly enough. I'd have figured they'd go with Minmin and have all the fighting game characters together, but I guess Punch-Out is more of a fighting game than ARMS now? I don't know. Also, this was the first time I think we've seen Sakurai lose during a Mr. Sakurai Presents video, which had me a bit worried if Kazuya was going to be like low tier or something, but he seems to be just fine. Tekken itself got a lot of representation. There's 39 music tracks. I figured with Namco working on Smash, they'd be generous with the Tekken stuff. And we got a spirit board with lots of Tekken characters, including my favorite, Yoshimitsu. Among Kazuya's alt-colored costumes, we got one based on Jin Kazama. Though more interesting is this alt, which looks a lot like Kiryu from the Yakuza games. Kazuya? Yakuza? Interesting, I don't know. But my favorite thing from Tekken they added with Kazuya is his victory screen, which uses the announcer voice from Tekken. I absolutely love that. If you want to see Kazuya's victory animation, just try fighting a level 9 CPU Kazuya. I don't know if they made the level 9 CPU AI better in this patch or what, but the level 9 computer Kazuyas pull off some ridiculous combos, so try it out. Kazuya has a ton of tricks up his sleeve, so maybe the computer has no trouble remembering all the moves he can do, while the rest of us are still trying to keep track of everything this fighter can pull off. One really interesting move is his Reflector Kick. If you use it against Sephiroth's down B counter, Scintilla, Sephiroth basically explodes. So Sephiroth players, don't try that counter against Kazuya. While Sakurai did not address why we got the Heihachi Mii costume alongside Minmin instead of the more logical option of showing up with Kazuya, in the past Sakurai has said Heihachi was considered for Smash, and all of our Tekken representation so far in Smash, basically Pac-Man's taunt and the Mii costume, have been Heihachi. So logically that seemed like the character we'd probably get. But instead, we got Kazuya. So I was curious if we'd get an answer to why that was. And we did. Sakurai said that the main reason was because Kazuya has the Devil Gene. Having the ability to transform into the devil form certainly opened up a lot of interesting moveset potential for the fighter. Heihachi does not have the devil gene, so he wouldn't have had that cool transformation aspect if he was our fighter. Also, speaking of the devil gene, Kazuya's internal codename was Demon. So yes, for those curious, they are still using codenames for the DLC fighters in the game's data. Anyway, Heihachi does get to be a big part of our Tekken representation here as a part of the stage. And they did put a cool detail into the stage that I suspected they might do. So there's a lot of love to this Tekken stage. The Fat Piranha Plant commented, I still think the reason Heihachi was at Minmin's Mii Wave was because of Tekken's anniversary coming at that time and Sakurai wanting to celebrate it. Which is a pretty good theory as to why Heihachi's Mii showed up with Minmin and not with Kazuya. That way Sakurai had something already revealed for Tekken in Smash to celebrate Tekken's anniversary over on Twitter. Either way, I still personally think the Heihachi Mii costume showing up with Minmin was at least partly done to somewhat lead us off the trail of believing we'd get a Tekken fighter in this pass. And with Tekken and Smash, we now have 2 fighters from Bandai Namco. Now, all of the third-party companies with playable characters in Smash have multiple fighters, except for SNK, which only has Terry. Even the rival company Microsoft has quite a few characters, especially if you count the Mii costumes, but I'll talk more about that a bit later on. Namco, directly working on Smash, certainly deserves to have multiple fighters on the roster, before Ultimate was finished, so I'm glad to see Tekken filling that spot. We got a new Tekken tournament event specifically for Kazuya. The participating fighters are the characters without weapons in their standard attacks. Oddly enough, with weapons in mind, we're still waiting for a sword-themed tournament event. Maybe one will drop randomly at some point, or possibly our last fighter will use a sword, and that could be their tournament theme. We also had a tournament for the 2010s, which was basically the final missing era of gaming to cover in a Smash tournament. Some people have taken this to mean the final fighter won't be from the 2010s, but do keep in mind they have done a tournament for the 80s, 90s, and 2000s already, so with that logic, you'd have to count out all of those eras as well. Actually, there's a lot of theories going around now trying to determine who the final fighter might be, using things we've already gotten to narrow down our options, such as these tournament events. I've stopped subscribing to these theories myself, especially after the Heihachi Mii costume didn't count out getting a Tekken fighter. I think using patterns tends to not pan out, especially when we use things we've gotten in Smash as a way to rule out what we could get in Smash. That seems to be proven very foolish. Again, with the Heihachi Mii costume in mind, specifically, it doesn't seem like that's a good idea anymore. But regardless, I still think it's worth going over some of these theories, simply to talk about them and to show what would happen if you actually add them all together. Alright, so right now there's only one spot left on the Fighter's Spirit screen. Obviously they could simply drop down another row, but if we believe this screen will end perfectly squared off, then the next fighter won't have any significant alts. We also have voice theory, and with Kazuya filling the final voice spot to keep the voice select screen perfectly squared off, that would mean the final fighter has no voice either. Again, if we're believing these screens are going to be perfectly squared off in the end. Also, for those wondering about crowd cheer theory, Kazuya's cheer is the same in all languages, so that one holds true. His Japanese crowd cheer is the one used in all regions. If we look at the music selection, we have one more spot to perfectly square off that screen. So the final fighter would have to be from some new series not yet represented in Smash. Also on the Smash website, some people have noticed a bit of a pattern with the background colors, and they're guessing the final fighter could have some shade of purple for their background to have consistency between the two passes. So if we buy into all of these theories, the final fighter would have no voice, fit for a purple background on the website, be from a new series, have no alts, and can't be a character from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, or 2010s, since we had tournament events for each of those. So that would make the fighter either extremely new from the 2020s, or older than Pac-Man, aka a character from like the 70s. The only fighter I can think of that easily fits all of these would be Space Invaders. I could see a purple background fitting. It's from the 70s, it wouldn't need a voice, it would be a new series, and likely wouldn't get any unique alt costumes. While I actually think Space Invaders would be pretty cool, Sakurai even actually tweeted out a strange nod at Space Invaders fairly recently, and Taito, being a company owned by Square, would be a cool company to get a fighter in Smash. I really doubt using all these theories is going to yield us any answer to the final fighter. I really doubt just adding all the theories together yields the final fighter. So basically my point here is that although these theories are interesting, I wouldn't count on them, because if you count on one of them, you sort of have to count on the other ones, and then when you add them all together, there's your answer. It would be Space Invaders. Also, keep in mind at the end, the stage select screen and the character select screens will have missing spots after Challenger Pack 11. So perfectly filling out other areas of the game to have those perfectly squared off screens, or following these patterns to just make things look really nice at the end, like having the same background colors as the first pass, likely isn't top priority for Sakurai and the Smash team. I don't think this has all been planned out to just perfectly fit well. I think they're just going to add a final character, and however it fits into everything else is just how it's going to fit. There are other pattern theories I didn't mention, a lot of patterns based on like what we got in the first pass repeating in the second pass, stuff like which game companies. We are missing a Sega or Atlas rep currently, for instance, if we're trying to mirror the first pass, or what types of characters, such as Terry and Kazuya being fighting game reps, Sephiroth and Hero being RPG reps, Banjo and Steve being Western Microsoft reps. These patterns are kind of neat, but they generally clash with trying to fit them in with other patterns and theories, and I can't really add them all together. Plus, I doubt the passes were picked simply in order to mirror each other in some pattern. It seems really arbitrary. I think the only pattern that might actually hold some weight would be the same companies, basically a Sega or Atlas rep being in the second pass. But that would have more to do with negotiations between the companies creating the first and second pass than doing it to just fulfill some sort of pattern. Anyway, moving on from pattern talk, we now have the Sophia and Arthur spirits available for everyone if you've been looking to collect those. And a new spirit for Monster Hunter Stories has been added to Smash as well if you have Monster Hunter Stories 2 saved on your Switch. I managed to pick up all 3 amiibos for that game, which I was very happy about. They were a little tough to find. We also surprisingly got a spirit event for Sukuna of Rice and Ruin. I was a little surprised about this, but Smash can often shock us with what ends up getting representation. And we got a Bones-themed spirit event recently. So any characters that are specifically Bone-themed and maybe would have that as their themed spirit event when they show up might be out of the running. I don't know. Harada tweeted out, "Yeah, looks awesome," to the Sakurai Presents Kazuya thumbnail image, I think because Sakurai was doing that classic pose. If you recall, Harada did an interview a while back where he mentioned Sakurai asking him about online features, and back when we got Small Battlefield added, we were told further investigations and adjustments to online mode are expected. I wonder if getting Tekken in Smash is a good indication that some future updates to Smash Ultimate Online could be happening at some point. The online is the one thing I truly think this game has done a rather poor job with. Just about everything else I like, and could really use a major update. So I hope something can be done about Smash's online work for Ultimate before this all ends for good. Very similar to when he talked about getting Minecraft in Smash, Sakurai mentioned how Nintendo asked him to put Tekken in Smash, and that it isn't always easy to get characters from these games to work well in Super Smash Bros. He made a very Japanese pun about Heaven asking him, basically because Nintendo has the kanji for heaven in their name, and Sakurai even mentioned how he wasn't sure how the joke would be translated overseas. The Japanese literal translation for Nintendo is very nuanced, but it's often described as meaning leave luck to heaven, or something similar to that anyway, harkening back to their playing card gambling game roots, I suppose. Regardless, the point is Sakurai very oddly made a heaven pun here. While this is probably reading too much into what Sakurai says, there is a game series that we've been discussing as a potential Smash fighter that this pun could be hinting at. Beware the Average Gamer over on Twitter wrote, "Hey PapaGenos, I remember you saying we should pay attention to any seemingly out-of-place phrases Sakurai uses during the presentation, and he made an allusion to heaven. Might be a hint towards Rhythm Heaven, which was already on your radar in your last video." And that's true. In my last video, I did talk about an interesting theory, how this Father's Day Spirit event we got featured all game series that have playable fighters in Smash, except for one, Rhythm Heaven. And it's widely agreed that a Rhythm Heaven rep nearly made it into Smash 4. The Chorus Kids are the only character from the Gamatsu leak we still don't have playable in Smash, and Rhythm Heaven is the only series to not have a playable fighter that had enemies in Smash Run on the 3DS. Plus, data within Smash 4 suggests the series at some point was planned to have a playable character. This second Fighter's Pass has been a lot of things that almost made it into Smash in the past, including our latest fighter being from the Tekken series, which Sakurai has said he almost put in Smash. Squiddy wrote me, Hey Papa, was watching your latest video when I heard you talk about Chorus Kids and referenced the Rex and Pyra situation. A thought came into my head. If I recall correctly, part of why he said it was difficult was that the design of the Xenoblade characters were too complicated compared to simplistic designs of Ices. Using this, I don't think it's safe to rule out Chorus Kids quite yet, because their designs are very basic, arguably more basic than the Ices. Which is very true. I mentioned how a 3-in-1 fighter might be tough to implement in Smash Ultimate. As Sakurai mentioned, the idea of creating a Rex and Pyra duo fighter was too difficult to realize. But the Chorus Kids have a very simple design, and might be doable as a 3-in-1 fighter. Or they could simply look like three fighters, but move together as a single fighter in unison, that simply appears to be three different fighters, but don't actually, desync or move around on their own. Whether the Chorus Kids would be the fighter from Rhythm Heaven if we got one, or if, like what happened with Heihachi and Kazuya, Sakurai now opts to pick a different Rhythm Heaven rep this time around instead, I do think a Rhythm Heaven fighter being Challenger Pack 11 is a strong possibility. Regardless if this Heaven pun was some sort of hint at that, the fact Rhythm Heaven nearly made it into Smash before could fit very well with the consistent pattern of almost characters that have been chosen for Fighter Pass 2. Alright, now let's talk about the latest batch of Mii costumes we got revealed. While it was only 4 Mii costumes, they were 4 Mii costumes based on some very big name characters as far as Smash speculation goes. Actually, this Mii wave was seen as an absolute bloodbath for many fans, hopeful that these characters might end up as fully playable fighters before the end. Sakurai even acknowledged these 4 were highly requested as standalone fighters. Considering Challenger Pack 11 very likely is the end of Smash Ultimate, getting anything for a character you wanted in Smash is better than nothing, especially here at the end. But I still completely understand the disappointment in getting a Mii costume as the character. Trust me, I'm a Geno fan. I've also seen some people making mock rosters out of the Mii fighters we've gotten instead of the characters we've gotten as playable fighters. While there's certainly a good debate that could be had over whether the playable characters we got or some of these Mii costume fighters could have been better character choices for DLC, I think it's important to remember that Nintendo chose the DLC fighters, so Sakurai himself may have had more control over getting us Mii costumes. So again, any representation a character gets in Smash is still worth celebrating. Perhaps if Sakurai had full control over which characters became playable, some of these Mii costumes would have gotten in over the playable characters we got. Who knows what the past would have looked like with Sakurai having full control. And to some extent, getting a character in Smash in any way, especially like a Mii costume, means the fanbase for that fighter was likely heard. Alright, so let's go over them one at a time, starting with Lloyd, the last of the third-party Smash 4 Mii costumes that we were missing. As a Tales of fan and longtime supporter of Lloyd becoming a playable character in Super Smash Bros., it was sad for me to see the Mii costume return. I figured a Bandai Namco character was very likely, and after the Heihachi Mii costume returned with Minmin, I'd written off Tekken as very likely, and assumed Tales of was now the most likely potential Namco series to get a Smash fighter. But Sakurai pulled the old switcheroo on us here, and this is what we've gotten. Gemini Spark SP wrote me, "Hey Papa, sorry for the random DM, but just in case you didn't see this on the server, something neat I noticed about the Mii costume wave. Everyone revealed, sans Lloyd probably, I don't know the Tales series that much aside from the Bamco connection, is a half-breed. Dragonborn is half dragon, Dante is half demon, Shantae is half genie. Guess what they're featured in? Kazuya's presentation, who is also a half demon." So this is true, there does appear to be a bit of a theme with this Mii wave, and it relates to Kazuya. All the Mii fighters are half-breed characters with some magical blood. Except for Lloyd, who is just a basic human. Though I suppose he was raised by a dwarf, and sorry for spoilers, but Kratos is sorta has angelic blood, right? Half-elves are a big part of the Tales of Symphonia game. I don't know. There's some connection here with Lloyd, I guess, if you kind of stretch things. But anyway, even if Lloyd doesn't fit for the half-blood theme, you could still, of course, say that he's a Namco character, so he fits to come alongside Kazuya. Regardless if you stretch to make Lloyd somehow fit for the half-blood Mii costume wave theme, I still think Heihachi's Mii would have made a lot more sense to show up with Kazuya, but oh well, whatever. Of course, once we had Kazuya revealed, it seemed obvious the final Namco Mii costume, Lloyd's, would show up, and now it has. So no more Smash, Wii U, and 3DS missing third-party Mii costumes to speculate about for the final fighter. Next up is a very unexpected Mii costume, Dragonborn from Skyrim. Not someone I was expecting to get the Mii costume treatment at all, but still very cool to see some Skyrim representation in Smash, considering how impactful that game has been on the gaming world at large. We got the typical censorship here, with Japan's trailer getting Smash Bros. X Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and the North American version simply saying Smash Bros. X Dragonborn. So while Dragonborn is our fourth Microsoft-owned character to get some representation in Smash, he's also our second Bethesda character to get some representation in Smash, as Microsoft recently acquired Bethesda. Sakurai tweeted out a few celebratory tweets, and Push Dustin said, "Can't believe Sakurai posted an arrow to the me joke." Good one. That one got me, I just had to put it in here. Anyway, more interestingly, Sakurai tweeted out a 35th anniversary tweet to Bethesda showing off Dragonborn and Vault Boy together. Josh on Twitter wrote me, "New theory for you. Sakurai tweeted about Tekken's anniversary when the only content was Taunt and Mii costume. Maybe he scheduled anniversary tweets before having the Fighter's Pass ordered finalized, or he tweets considering every fighter within the pass. Is there any other example of Sakurai tweeting out an anniversary that isn't a fighter or assist? He tweeted out Bethesda's anniversary today." So remember how we were theorizing a little earlier that maybe the reason Sakurai released the Heihachi Mii costume with Minmin instead of saving it for Kazuya was so that he would have the Heihachi Mii costume available to put a tweet out as a Tekken anniversary tweet. Bethesda is a very big company, and honestly the Vault Boy Mii costume was a shocking reveal as the only Bethesda content in Smash. And now we're getting a Dragonborn Mii costume, and it's sort of equally perplexing why we're getting Bethesda Mii costumes at all. Well, maybe this is it for Bethesda content in Smash, or maybe these Mii costumes were revealed so that Sakurai could do an anniversary tweet, but for Bethesda. And a Bethesda character is actually still coming, and these Mii costumes were shown off early in order for Sakurai to do that anniversary tweet. Again, a similar theory to why Heihachi's Mii costume might have come out alongside Minmin instead of waiting for Kazuya. Obviously, this is just wild speculation, but it's also possible they gave us the Vault Boy and Dragonborn Miis early, simply so that Bethesda being in the credits for Smash wouldn't raise any eyebrows. Remember, the copyright for SNK being in Smash leaked out before Terry, so possibly in order to prevent another SNK type leak, Sakurai Nintendo decided to give us things from companies that have future fighters but weren't in Smash already, so that if anything got out about that company being involved in Smash, it wouldn't immediately reveal a playable fighter. Of course, there are plenty of companies in Smash, such as Koei Tecmo and Ubisoft, for example, that have content in Smash but no playable fighters. So if it had leaked out that Bethesda was involved in Smash before we got the Vault Boy or Dragonborn Mii costume, it could still just end with simply getting those Mii costumes. The SNK leak was only so damaging though because nothing SNK was in Smash yet, and this random Bethesda content could be a good way to prevent such a leak from occurring again if, again, a Bethesda character were to be the final fighter or something. Having these Mii costumes show up early means that if anyone heard anything about Bethesda having content in Smash, it wouldn't make anyone suspicious. We'd just all think, well, yeah, they have some Mii costumes. And of course, as we've seen with the Heihachi Mii costume, Sakurai doesn't seem opposed to releasing Mii costumes earlier than one might expect. Earlier than where they might fit a bit better. If some future fighter is being released and the Mii costumes might fit better with them, Sakurai could still just release the Mii costume early. So admittedly, all of this is not a very strong argument for a Bethesda character being the final fighter, but I'm just saying an argument could be made. There's some reason to think that it's a little odd we've gotten these Bethesda Mii costumes. Doomguy seems the most obvious choice if that were to happen, and while I don't expect that this is how things are going to pan out, it would be crazy if somehow Doomguy was the final fighter, and it would be even crazier if it turned out Kako Malo was actually real. Maybe there is actually a bonus fighter, and it's Gino, and it's a secret or something like that. The Mii costume is going to get upgraded, and the Mii costume was just to throw us off. We did already get tricked by one Mii costume after all. While having Kako Malo turn out to be real in the end would probably be the craziest way to end the pass, I do not think that's how things will go down. I still think Master Chief is actually more likely than Doomguy if either of them were to happen. And these Bethesda Miis are likely just cool additions to Smash, and not indicating that the final fighter is going to be a Bethesda rep. But it's fun to go down the speculation rabbit hole sometimes, right? Next up, we got Shantae as a Mii costume, which I had honestly given up hope on Shantae getting anything else. She had a spirit in base game Smash Ultimate, and I figured that was the end of the road for Shantae. So her getting an upgrade to a Mii costume is likely the result of fans being very vocal about wanting Shantae in Smash. So excellent job there, Shantae fans. Certain things about the Mii, like the way her hair is, actually indicate that she was likely modeled off of this particular figure and not from any official Shantae artwork. So figure theory, that whole idea that Sakurai is using figures to model characters, might actually extend to Mii costumes as well as playable fighters. She comes with a music track for Burning Town, and this has caused some debate as to whether or not she's a deluxe Mii costume or not. Of course, the entire concept of deluxe Miis versus regular Miis is just fan terminology and semantics. And we really haven't had a clear way to determine what is and what isn't a deluxe Mii costume, though most people seem to notice when a Mii costume stands out above the other ones. I've tried to make rules for this in the past, but honestly there isn't a clear, definable way to determine this. So let's just go over all the deluxe Mii costumes briefly and see if Shantae should qualify or not. First, we got Sans, who showed up with a sort of mini reveal trailer within the Mii Wave showcase. And he looked great, having a body and mask-style head to totally cover up the Mii underneath. And he came with a music track, which, besides simply looking better than most Miis, clearly made him something special. He had a music track, there was a little extra with this Mii. Next, we got Cuphead, and once again, same stuff. He had a mini reveal trailer, his costume is a full mask head that looked great, and he came with a music track. This is when we started thinking these deluxe Miis would be a consistent thing, and have consistent ways for us to tell them apart from the other Miis. But then next we got Vault Boy, who although did have like a mini reveal trailer, and looked great with the mask style head, did not come with a music track. Though admittedly, Fallout music might not fit for Smash anyway, most of it's just like ambient noise. And after that, we got Bomberman, who had no special mini reveal and no music track. But he did look great, he had like a mask-style head and everything, and he did come with something special, but it was different than a music track. What he had was that you could change the color of the Mii, and it actually changed all the different Bomberman colors. So again, it stands out above most of the other Miis. It had something special about it. Now, Shantae's Mii looks very good, but it doesn't have a mask head. It doesn't completely cover the Mii underneath. And she didn't have a sort of mini reveal trailer. It's actually been quite a while since we've gotten a Mii that had one of those. But she does have a music track, so that does set her apart. Frankly, since there's no clear rules to this, and it's all fan terminology to call these Miis deluxe Miis anyways, and as a fan, I'm personally going to say Shantae is a deluxe Mii costume. A mask head wouldn't look that good on Shantae, and she actually works with a emoting Mii face, I think, better than having like a static face. And having a music track was the original way, I think, that we were determining that these Miis were different, that what was making them a deluxe with Cuphead and Sans was that they came with a music track. So since Shantae does come with a music track, clearly setting her separate from the other Miis, I say she's in the deluxe Mii costume club. A Young Spirit over on Twitter wrote, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate canonically takes place between Shantae's Risky's Revenge and Pirate's Curse when she has lost her magic powers and is trained at Brawling by Bolo. I think that's great headcanon as to why Shantae fights the way she does in Smash as the Mii costume. I have my own Geno headcanon that his spirit is inhabiting a Mii in Smash and not the doll from Super Mario RPG. Of course, that Geno headcanon would fit a lot better if he had a mask-style head and actually looked the part, and the issue wasn't just that he wasn't fighting the same. But oh well, what can you do? I can only whine about him not getting a good mask head for so long. Anyway, with only one guaranteed Mii Wave left, I do hope we get more deluxe Mii costumes. There were so many good options for them, yet we've gotten so few. Honestly, we've gotten less Mii costumes in general than I expected overall throughout this second Fighter's Pass. If there's only one more deluxe left, I'd hope we get someone like Hollow Knight or Shovel Knight. We could really use a good Mii Sword Fighter costume before this game ends, so Mii Sword Fighter players will have someone cool to pretend to play as. Lastly, for these Mii costumes, we got Dante, a huge hit to speculation as Dante seemed very likely to become a playable fighter at some point. Honestly, had you asked me me way back when Inkling first got revealed and we found out about Smash Ultimate happening at all, who the most likely third-party fighter would be for Smash Ultimate, I would have probably put my bets on Dante. He was the winner of Kamiya's poll for popular characters for Smash after all, and we had gotten Bayonetta at the end of Smash Wii U and 3DS, and it just felt like Dante should probably show up as well. And yet, here we are, he's just a Mii costume. Once again, the censorship between the Japanese and North American trailers happened for Dante and the Devil May Cry series. So we have Smash X Devil May Cry in Japan and Smash X Dante in North America. Some people have asked me if I think Virgil or Nero could happen instead as a Devil May Cry character now that we have Dante as a Mii. Something similar to like Kazuya getting in Smash instead of Heihachi, because Heihachi already had a Mii, but I really don't think the Devil May Cry series works the same way as Tekken does in that regard. Tekken has an entire fighting game cast of characters with a sort of revolving door changing who the main character is each time, and honestly, Kazuya was the main character originally. Where Devil May Cry just wouldn't feel right in Smash being repped by anyone other than Dante, in my opinion. You can do that with a fighting game, I don't think you can do it with Devil May Cry. Dante being in Smash at all is once again more Capcom content. Capcom dominated the Mii wave last time, getting the Monster Hunter Miis and the Arthur Ghosts and Goblins Mii, and yet throughout all this DLC, while Capcom has been around, we've gotten no playable DLC characters from Capcom, just a lot of Capcom stuff, spirit events, and Mii costumes. Definitely suspicious in my opinion, but I'll talk more about that later as there's another company I want to mention first. Shortly after the Dante Mii was revealed for Super Smash Bros., Atlas West tweeted this out. "Heard y'all might need this." And then they show the image that says featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. It's a reference to Shin Megami Tensei 3, or specifically the box art from the Pale Region version Shin Megami Tensei Lucifer's Call, and how it openly advertised that the game featured Dante from Devil May Cry. The little featuring Dante sticker has become sort of a meme, so Atlas is clearly just kidding around with that tweet. However, they weren't the only ones to make this reference. Nintendo of Europe tweeted out, "New hashtag Smash Bros. Ultimate Mii Fighter costumes are out now. Lloyd, Sword Fighter, Dragonborn, Sword Fighter, Shantae, Brawler, plus Burning Town music track, also featuring Dante, Sword Fighter." So once again, a Shin Megami Tensei reference in relation to this Dante Mii happening, featuring Dante. Well, I'm sure these are just jokes and not hints at anything. Again, the whole featuring Dante thing is a meme already. A Shin Megami Tensei character being the final challenger pack does seem to have a lot of stuff going for it. So making a Shin Megami Tensei reference here in relation to Smash and what Mii costumes we just got could kind of fit for some sort of hint if the final character did turn out to be a Shin Megami Tensei character. I mentioned a bunch of pattern theories before and how I don't like subscribing to them, but if we look at the first and second pass, we can't see that what's missing from the second pass that was in the first pass is a Sega rep, or more specifically, an Atlas rep. Like what we got with Joker in the first pass. Joker was surprising because he's a Persona character, and Persona is an offshoot of the Shin Megami Tensei games. And Nintendo is really far more associated with Shin Megami Tensei than it is with Persona. There's a ton of history with the series, whereas Persona, even after getting Joker and Smash, has almost nothing on any Nintendo consoles. Joker only brought Persona stuff with him despite this vast history with Shin Megami Tensei and Nintendo. And even the series mascot, Jack Frost, didn't get so much as a spirit in Smash when Joker showed up. Also, the Nocturne HD remaster has been heavily pushed by Nintendo, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 is being promoted even more so. In fact, its promotion looks closer to how Nintendo promoted Breath of the Wild or Dragon Quest XI, two games they really pushed and have content, of course, in Smash. Also worth noting, recently when Sakurai made a tweet for Persona 4's anniversary, he directly mentioned the Megami Tensei series in the tweet, and how Persona is a spin-off series of it. Interesting, it's on his mind at least. And here's a post from over on Game FAQs going over a ton of reasons why the Shin Megami Tensei 5 protagonist makes a lot of sense as our final fighter. I'm not going to read all of this, but a lot of it has to do with the timing of when the character's coming out. I'll talk a bit more about the timing for Challenger Pack 11 in a few, but the fact Shin Megami Tensei 5 is scheduled to be a big end-of-the-year November release for the Switch, and how the development time for SMT5 could also fit for developing a Smash fighter if Sakurai was allowed early access to the game. It could work out. Sakurai has been given early access to games before in order to create Smash fighters. And it seems Nintendo often ends DLC off on very current or even future characters, such as the base game ending on Incineroar, who was just concept art when Sakurai was first shown him and creating him for Smash. Or how Pass 1 ended with Byleth, and of course Sakurai once again had to get early access to 3 houses in order to create Byleth for Smash. So ending Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on a character from a game that's very recent would make the roster last a bit longer. When you look at the full roster, you won't think, oh, the most recent character is from like 2018. You'll think the most recent character is from a 2021 game, which makes Smash Ultimate itself last a lot longer. Or at least feel fresh a lot longer. Sakurai also never did a Sakurai Presents for our first Fighter Pass character, Joker. So a chance to go over the Shin Megami Tensei history that Nintendo has and cap off the DLC similarly to how it started with Persona and ending with Shin Megami Tensei would be kind of fitting. Also, the protagonist of Shin Megami Tensei 5 also has a sword arm, and ending this whole pass with an anime-looking sword user, heck, they even have blue hair, how can Sakurai possibly resist adding this guy, could make sense since we still don't have that sword-based tournament event. Also, if they added the protagonist of Shin Megami Tensei 5, then it would be from a game released in the 2020s. We've of course gotten tournaments for all the eras of gaming except for the 70s and the 2020s, so a very recent character like this would fit, if you believe these eras of gaming tournaments are counting out getting characters from those eras. Honestly, getting the SMT5 protagonist, I think they're called Nahobino, could make a lot of sense for the ending of Smash Ultimate. It honestly almost feels like it won't happen simply because it's the really obvious choice, and we never seem to get the obvious choice for Smash DLC, especially when we're basing it on the timing of when like another game is going to come out and a Smash reveal could promote that game. That seems to never pan out, and that's definitely a big factor with this one. Speaking of the timing, let's talk a bit about some stuff Sakurai said for when Challenger Pack 11 could get released. Sakurai said Smash Ultimate is his life's work, and while the game is truly incredible and we all want it to keep growing indefinitely, Sakurai can't work on Smash Ultimate forever. That's just the truth of it. It must come to an end at some point. Sakurai has once again said Challenger Pack 11 is the final fighter. Specifically, he said the next DLC fighter will be the last one. There won't be any more after that. While we do have that odd space on the Australian website and some kind of bonus at the end could still happen, it never had to be a bonus fighter, keep in mind. A bonus stage or bonus mode or something very mundane even could be what that page is actually for. Now, I am a big believer that a bonus fighter can't really be a bonus fighter without setting us up for an ending in the first place, but I'm also not going to count on one actually happening. So I think it's probably smart to take Sakurai's word that Challenger Pack 11 is the end of Smash Ultimate. If more happens and they surprise us, then I'll just be pleasantly surprised. And while speculating more stuff is fun, and I think it's totally fine to do that for fun, as long as you keep your expectations in check, I hope no one out there truly is expecting that Sakurai is going to do more characters, and he's going to do more than he's saying we're going to get, so just don't set yourself up for disappointment, guys. So if Challenger Pack 11 is the final fighter, the next question is when will Challenger Pack 11 be revealed and when is Smash Ultimate going to end? Possibly the most interesting thing said in the entire Sakurai Presents video was when Sakurai said it'll be a while before the announcement, but it'll be available this year as planned, so please be patient. I can't recall Sakurai ever setting us up for a wait like that, especially remarking that it will be this year, which leads me to assume the wait could get to the point where it's close to the end of the year and we start questioning when exactly this final fighter is getting revealed, if it's actually going to happen by the end of the year. We were initially told all the fighters would be revealed by December 31st, 2021, so by the end of this year. But when Steve, Sephiroth, and Pyro and Mithra got revealed at a rapid-fired pace, I started to think maybe it would end much sooner than that. A lot of us believed there could be a double reveal at E3, if you recall, and we only got one character. And if there had been, then that would have been the end of the Smash DLC, which would have been way before December 31st, 2021, the time frame we were given initially. The longest wait so far between character reveals has been 5 months, and that was from Byleth to Minmin. But that was also between the 2 passes. And we got the fact that the next fighter would be a fighter from ARMS revealed within that 5 months. So it didn't feel like it was such a long wait between character reveals. We got Minmin sort of half revealed to us as we got the series revealed. The next longest wait was between Minmin and Steve, but we did get Small Battlefield in between that time frame. While it's completely possible we simply get the final fighter revealed in like a September Nintendo Direct or something, as many of us were assuming could be the time frame for the next reveal before Sakurai made this statement. Now after hearing Sakurai set us up for this wait though, I actually think that they're going to drag this final reveal out right until the end of the year. Something like a final reveal happening to mark the 3-year anniversary of Smash Bros. Ultimate, which would be in early December. Or a final reveal at the Game Awards, where we got our first DLC fighter revealed. Sort of cap off the 2 fighter passes, getting Joker at the Game Awards to start it, and ending at the Game Awards, which again would probably be in December. I truly believe with Sakurai's statement here, we should expect a long wait, possibly the full 6-month span from Kazuya to December and the end of the year, for the Smash anniversary, or possibly the Game Awards, or some other date just in that time frame. It feels like Sakurai's setting us up for that. Also, it's even possible it could be the Smash anniversary and the Game Awards, mattering to what the date of the Game Awards is this year. Though maybe Sakurai would want to reveal the final fighter on his own, in his own presentation. And that could make sense. I think the most fitting ending for Smash Ultimate would to end off on a Sakurai Presents on the 3-year anniversary of Smash Ultimate's release, and both reveal the final fighter and also do sort of a celebration of all that Smash Ultimate has accomplished over all of this time. Also, we just talked a bit about the possibility of Challenger Pack 11 being a Shin Megami Tensei rep. So maybe they're holding off to reveal the final fighter to coincide closer to the release of Shin Megami Tensei 5, which is releasing in November. That could be another reason to have a long wait for the final fighter. Maybe it's not just waiting for the anniversary of the game or to just kind of go to the end of the year with this. Maybe it's actually to coincide with another game coming out that would fit for that character. I suppose you could say the same thing about Master Chief. Either way, though, I don't think Sakurai would have said what he said if we had a typical 2 to 3 month wait here for our next fighter reveal. If it was planned to be revealed during like a September Nintendo Direct, I just don't think Sakurai would have said anything about a long wait and being patient and not worrying about them missing the original date of it happening before the end of the year. We could split the difference and still have a somewhat long wait, but not right to the end of the year, and have it like the time frame of when the Tokyo Game Show is, which is the end of September into October, though historically the Tokyo Game Show has never had any Smash reveals. Given that it might be a long wait though, I do think it's possible something like a Small Battlefield type update could happen in the meantime. If we really do have to wait all the way until like December for the final character reveal, I could see something happening in between that. Again, like the Small Battlefield update happened in between Minmin and Steve. We oftentimes get September Nintendo Directs, so maybe during this year's hypothetical September Nintendo Direct, something else Smash could happen that isn't Challenger Pack 11. Again, like the Small Battlefield update. One possibility of what we could get, for example, would be like Harada saying in that interview that Sakurai had talked to him about improving the online for Smash, and now we just got a Tekken fighter in Smash. So maybe since we were told that further investigations and adjustments to the online mode should be expected, so some sort of update that boosts the online experience in Smash Ultimate could be a great midpoint update before we actually get to Challenger Pack 11. If it's a long wait and there's something in the middle, updating the online would be a pretty cool thing to add there. Also, we have room for more stages than just the Final Fighters stage. So another possibility, like again with Small Battlefield, would be a free stage or two or something added to the game. There are still missing stages from past Smash games, so maybe they found ways to get those to work in Smash, and we could get updated with a few more stages. That would be a pretty cool midway update between now and Challenger Pack 11, if, again, it is a long wait. And I do think we are in for the long haul with Challenger Pack 11. I don't think we'll have complete radio silence from Sakurai and the Smash team, though, I guess is what I'm saying. I expect if it is a long wait to Challenger Pack 11, then I'd expect to hear something from them in between, and possibly even getting some sort of cool update like we did with Small Battlefield. It's possible the reason for the long wait could be the final fighter is actually super complex. Like, let's say a Rhythm Heaven rep is happening, and they actually use every music track in the game somehow. Like, you have to time the attacks to the music, and every track in the game has been linked up with this character. It would explain why a Rhythm Heaven character would be saved for last if they actually involve every single music track in the game in their moveset in some way. Then yeah, you'd have to save them for last because you need all all the music in the game already. Or maybe there's something else that's complex about the final fighter that is going to take longer than usual. Maybe it is a multiple character in one, like Pokemon Trainer. We were talking about the Breath of the Wild champions as a fighter. Maybe that's what they're ending off on, and it's like 4 characters, so it's going to take them longer. Or maybe they come with multiple stages to really fill out that stage select screen, so all that time is being spent making multiple stages, and we're going to have to wait a while. So basically, there's a lot of possible reasons why they could potentially take a while for this last fighter. I personally think it would actually most likely just be Nintendo wanting to run out the clock for the full year and try and keep the Smash hype alive as long as possible. But whatever the reason may be for the final fighter taking a while to show up, I do think with what Sakurai said, we should probably get ready to be patient for this last one. Another interesting thing we saw in the Sakurai Presents was the Minmin Amiibo, which won't be releasing until 2022, sadly. Actually, given this long wait for when we're going to get our first Fighter Pass 2 Amiibo, it could be seen as another small reason to think Challenger Pack 11 won't release until very close to the end of the year. If the Amiibo won't even be releasing until some point next year, I don't think they're in any hurry to finish off this DLC. Anyway, the Minmin Amiibo looks really cool, though her arms look a little closer to her than the actual artwork has them, but I totally understand the reasoning. They probably had to bring the arms in a bit so that the fighter can actually stand up on its own. I'm a little bummed this is the only Amiibo we saw here. I'm especially curious with how they're going to handle the Steve Amiibo, as he's kind of boring alone. And will that Amiibo have to have all the alts that you can swap in and out of the stand, like what you can do with Game & Watch and all the different poses? Or will they have Steve and Alex together, and maybe even some blocks or something? I'm really curious what that Amiibo is going to be like. Sakurai also made this odd statement about how it would be weird for Nintendo to make a Kazuya Amiibo. As if all the other third-party characters we've gotten as Amiibo wasn't weird for Nintendo to make. I mean, especially the stuff owned by Microsoft, again, like Banjo and assumedly getting a Steve Amiibo. Sakurai likes faking us out with the Amiibo for some reason, so I assume his statement about Kazuya being odd for Nintendo to make was just him not wanting to reveal for certain that all the Fighter Pass 2 characters will definitely be getting Amiibos, but I'm pretty sure they will. Honestly, Nintendo making a Kazuya Amiibo and Namco working directly on Smash, and Namco and Nintendo seem to have a pretty good relationship. I don't think that's the weirdest Amiibo that's been made. Alright, now finally I want to talk about a possible leak. This one is really out there though, but I think it's worth discussing. It's the Rapping Mario leak. There's a lot of holes here, but there's also some really interesting stuff too, so let's check this one out. This one was posted over on 4chan on January 26th of this year. So that's after Sephiroth, but before Pyro and Mithra. And here's what it says. I just want to be one of the greats, bros. I want to be up there with ESRB Leaker. I don't have anything I can show without compromising the identity of my source, but I'm tired of staying silent. So right off the bat, they say they don't want to compromise their source, and thus they're going to be vague to protect them. The next character will be revealed this time next month. Not in a Smash Direct, but a Nintendo presentation nonetheless. This was basically true. Pyro and Mithra were revealed February 17th, which wasn't exactly a full month after this post, but most people were assuming they'd get the next character around March at the earliest, and not February at the time of this post, if I recall correctly, so it was a bold statement to say it would happen the next month. This character will appease audiences both East and West, but it won't break the internet, and a fair amount of people will be angry at their inclusion. Okay, so that's a really vague statement, but also not wrong. Pyro and Mithra are popular in both the East and West. Actually, specifically pointing out that they're popular in the East, I think, is significant here. And they didn't break the internet, and they did upset some people. Again, this statement is super vague, however, so it feels very safe. There are so many characters that can fit this very vague criteria. But there are certainly some characters that wouldn't fit this at all. If we got a character that was very Western or something, it wouldn't fit this. And if it was a character that was generally beloved or something, it wouldn't fit the thing about making some people angry. So the leak definitely survives Pyro and Mithra, but also I don't think it really gains any more credibility from their inclusion. It doesn't seem like they totally guessed Pyro and Mithra here, just that what they said isn't incorrect for Pyro and Mithra. The next is a less expected rep of a beloved third-party series already in Smash. Many people thought this series would receive more representation in the base game. Okay, well that's totally true. Kazuya is third party. I think a lot of people figured Tekken would get some representation in base game, even if only the Heihachi Mi returning or something in base game, and all we got was the taunt from Pac-Man, so Tekken was in Smash. So while this statement is once again a bit vague, it's certainly a little more specific than what they were saying about the first next fighter, the Pyro and Mithra character. And once we have Tekken in mind, it does match up very well, whereas not too many other things would actually match up with this statement. The final fighter is a Capcom character from a game that doesn't involve action. Dante is a Mii costume, lol, and so is Monster Hunter. Okay, so here we have some specifics. A company, Capcom specifically, and that we're going to get some specific Mii costumes. Dante and the Monster Hunter Miis. Now they say they want to be vague to protect their source, but certainly with this statement it would seem Capcom would be the company they have the most specific information about, or at least the one they're giving us the most specific info about. Anyway, regardless, the Mii costumes are totally spot on. We have both the Monster Hunter Miis and a Dante Mii costume. So this is basically why this one didn't have much attention until right now. Now it has enough things it's gotten totally right, the Dante Mii and the Monster Hunter Miis, to give it some attention. And again, those first two statements it made aren't wrong with the characters we got. Now Monster Hunter was a returning Mii costume, so always a strong possibility it was going to happen. But keep in mind, when this was written, back in January, it was a pretty bold statement to assume the Dante was going to be a Mii, and so would Monster Hunter. Dante sort of felt more like he'd either be a playable fighter or not in the game at all. However, I will point out the character they appear to be alluding to here as the final fighter is likely supposed to be Phoenix Wright, a Capcom character from a game that doesn't involve action. And if you were to put Phoenix Wright in a fake leak, and you also wanted to add some Mii costumes that would like come with him or something like that, then you'd likely say that the competition he has from other Capcom characters are out. Namely, the competition being Monster Hunter and Dante. The other Capcom characters I think people thought might get into Smash. So while the most impressive thing we have here is naming those Mii costumes specifically, they're also the exact Capcom characters you might assume would become Mii's if you were to say Phoenix is going to become a playable fighter. If you're faking a leak saying Phoenix is going to happen, then the Mii costumes you add with Phoenix should probably be the other Capcom characters people are expecting instead, Monster Hunter and Dante. Anyway, fake or not, this is still totally correct about the Mii's. So moving on, here's where the leak gets harder to accept as being real. The second Fighter Pass has a bonus character from Zelda that will release alongside or shortly after the Capcom character. Alright, so we do have that weird webpage thing, so even though Sakurai keeps assuring us there's only one more fighter left, and I'm not banking on a secret bonus character happening, a secret bonus fighter could end up surprising us. Hypothetically speaking, it's possible. Again, I'm not banking on it, but it is possible, and we do have some reason to think a secret bonus fighter could be happening. Again, that webpage does exist, it's a little weird. That hypothetical bonus fighter being a Zelda rep could also make sense. End off on promoting Breath of the Wild 2 a bit or something could make a lot of sense to me if Sakurai hadn't set up so hard that Challenger Pack 11 was going to be the absolute end of DLC fighters. There will be no third pass, but there'll be a playful statement in the final presentation saying not to be surprised if more content randomly drops. Companies, studios I know are involved with the rest of Pass 2 and beyond: Activision, Epic, Game Freak, Sega, Valve, Capcom, Microsoft, Monolith, Bamco, Steelwool, Arc System, and Konami. Please take heavy note that these can range from costumes to spirits to stages to characters. Don't take any company listed as confirmation of their series getting a playable character. So that is a big list of companies. Spirit events can be very surprising though, so nothing too crazy there that's outside of the realm of possibly getting a Spirit event level inclusion in Smash. Of course, Steel Wool is on there, which would likely mean something Five Nights at Freddy's. And Scott Cawthorn specifically said recently, no collabs for now, which would imply nothing was planned with Smash at the time. But who knows, people can of course lie and deflect about stuff like that. As far as concrete fighters go after the Zelda one, I know for sure the final will be Waluigi. Yes, I know Sakurai is breaking his own rules, and I heavily suspect a Fortnite guy will be the first after Pass 2, but I don't know for sure. I assume they're guessing at a Fortnite guy because they are telling us that Epic is going to be part of the companies, and maybe that's just such a big company, Fortnite's such a big game, that they're guessing that's going to be a character. Okay, now this leak is in totally wild territory that makes the whole thing seem super fake. Not only will a single bonus fighter from Zelda be happening, which is more than Sakurai is setting us up for, but we'd also get apparently a playful statement and be set up that although there isn't a third pass, there's going to be potentially more characters, randomly dropped alone, I guess. Which contradicts, again, Sakurai stating very clearly that Challenger Pack 11 will be the end of the DLC. I can kind of buy a single bonus fighter, but there's very few scenarios where I could see an indefinite amount of Smash fighters randomly happening after Pass 2, and that this person is aware of them, and even specifically aware of Waluigi and maybe a Fortnite character happening. Anyway, they close by saying, I will not be returning here and I probably won't be getting more info unless this post goes under the radar. I am familiar with beckons for visual proof or concrete statements for the further future, but those are both risky in their own regards. I know I'll be vindicated when my timeline plays out as written. See you later. Well, as crazy and off the wall as this supposed leak gets by the end, the truth is this one has been somewhat vindicated, at least up until the point we're at right now, which is why I'm bothering to look at it at all, despite its very wild claims towards the end. While it is mostly vague, the timeline has been playing out as written, specifically with the Monster Hunter and Dante Miis. Interestingly, it starts off very vague, and then gets more specific as it goes on, which isn't how you'd expect a leaker to have information. Likely what's about to happen would be more clear than the characters potentially happening like a year later on from this leak. What they wrote about the next character, the character that turned out to be Pyro and Mithra, is just the general reaction and vague idea about when they'd be revealed and how people would take them. The second character they talk about is said to be third party and a bit more specific with the general feelings about the series in regards to Smash, that the series is already in Smash in some form and people thought there'd be more in base game. Then we specifically hear the next one, the final fighter, is going to be a Capcom fighter, and we get some specific Miis. And with the way it's written, the character would almost certainly be Phoenix Wright. So they're almost basically telling us that character straight up without name dropping them. After that, we get very specific with a character from specifically what series they're coming from, the Zelda series, as the bonus fighter. And then it just straight up says the last fighter is going to be Waluigi, and that some of these post-Fighter Pass 2 fighters, one of them will probably be a Fortnite fighter, though they are saying that's just a guess. So again, oddly enough, they get more specific as it goes on. Why not say the next character is from the Xenoblade series, and then say the bonus fighter is just going to happen and not say it's from the Zelda series? It's weird that they get more specific as time goes on. And to have information like a playful statement from Sakurai in the last Presents, how would you know that? How would any leaker know that before Sakurai records that? Anyway, there's a few things I could see going on with this one. First off, it's just fake. It just got lucky in its vagueness, and the specific Mii costumes that it guessed at were simply being guessed at because the Capcom character it decided to fake a leak for is Phoenix Wright. So Dante and Monster Hunter would make sense to be Miis in that scenario anyway, and surprise, we just happen to get those characters as Miis. Basically, it's a lucky guess. But simply looking at a leak as it being fake isn't very fun. You don't actually end up digging any deeper or finding out anything if you just assume everything's fake. So let's get real speculative here. What if this one is true, but they added a bunch of crazy stuff at the end to hide their source, or protect their source? They do say at the beginning they care about protecting their source. So overall, the leak would be fake, but it still alludes to the actual DLC fighters. They just go off into crazy stuff at the end. So the final fighter is going to be Phoenix Wright, which could make sense, actually, given how much Capcom stuff we've gotten without getting a Capcom DLC fighter. But the rest is just fake on purpose, again, to protect their source. That's basically a conspiracy on top of a conspiracy at that point, and probably not a very healthy way to look at leaks, to think that they only need to get some things right to be true, and the things they got wrong are just them purposely saying wrong stuff to protect their sources. That's a terrible way to look at leaks. So is there any way that all of the stuff on this one could be true, and Sakurai's whole Challenger Pack 11 is the final fighter thing is just like a total lie? I can think of one very interesting way this leak could play out if it were actually real. Okay, so it has Phoenix Wright as the final DLC fighter, and Phoenix is very famous for the whole objection thing. We have gotten a lot of Capcom stuff throughout all of this DLC, yet we haven't gotten any playable Capcom fighters as DLC. So, could there be a reason for waiting until the end to show off Phoenix Wright? Maybe. Picture this scenario. We get Phoenix Wright revealed as the final character. Sakurai does a presentation, and during it he says, "That's it, no more DLC fighters." Objection! Phoenix objects to the end of the DLC and shows Sakurai has been keeping secrets, and it's revealed there'll be more Smash fighters. Right away, we get a bonus fighter in the form of a Zelda rep, and then they make that playful comment that although there isn't a Fighter Pass 3, don't be surprised if more Smash characters randomly happen in the future. It's certainly a crazy scenario, but it could allow for this leak to actually work out. Specifically, if Phoenix Wright was the final character in this pass, I think they're the perfect character to reveal that there's secretly more happening. It would actually make a lot of sense to end on them in that scenario. I do think even outside of this leak, Phoenix Wright actually does have a lot going for him. I'll talk about some general Phoenix Wright speculation in a second, but if Phoenix really did end the pass, I do feel like they'd have to do something with his whole objection thing. Or the Magatama being able to see the Cyclops and get secrets out of people and stuff. Pulling secrets out of Sakurai would be perfect. That'd be a great way to end the pass. Phoenix might be one of the only characters where I can actually justifiably make a case that this character was saved specifically for the end to surprise us with more Smash characters. There'd be a reason for doing this, and there'd be a reason for Sakurai telling us this is the end of the pass, no more fighters, to set us up for Phoenix to reveal more characters. Revealing more characters would all tie into Phoenix himself showing up. He'd probably go down as a fan favorite in the Smash community simply for getting us more Smash characters. It would be a great way to end the pass. Alright, well, the rapper Mario leak aside, it's probably fake, and Phoenix giving us more characters is a very out there thing to think, but regardless of all that, I do think Phoenix has a good shot as the final fighter anyway. Like I said, we've gotten a lot of Capcom stuff during the DLC, but no playable fighters. A lot of Capcom stuff has been seemingly deconfirmed as well. I have to be careful what I say about deconfirmed at this point, after the Heihachi Mii costume proves that things in Smash already don't necessarily deconfirm everything. But we do already have Monster Hunter getting Miis, Arthur getting a Mii, Dante getting a Mii, Resident Evil was a Spirit event towards the end of the first pass. Most of the big Capcom games are out of the running if we consider this stuff to be deconfirmations. Now, again, with what happened with Tekken, we can't rule anything out. Resident Evil could totally surprise us or something. But still, assuming all these games have their Smash representation already, Phoenix Wright would be probably the next in line to get in. While Capcom has a ton of game series left to choose from, I do think Ace Attorney would be next in line for a potential Smash rep. It has a strong history with Nintendo, and Phoenix just fits the wacky atmosphere of Smash Bros. I think the aesthetic of Phoenix Wright just fits really well with Smash. He's a known gaming icon at this point, and seeing a lawyer do battle in Smash against all these wacky characters is the perfect sort of oddity people really enjoy seeing in Smash. Phoenix is also from the visual novel genre, which we don't have a rep for in Smash. Sakurai said he wanted to add Ayumi Tachibana once a long time ago, but didn't get a chance to. So coming up with some crazy point-and-click menu-style visual novel moveset, I'm sure is something Sakurai would jump at the chance to do. He added a menu for Hero after all, so I'm sure he could have some crazy unique ideas to pull off Phoenix Wright. Phoenix is certainly among the more plausible third-party characters left. I'd be really happy to see end up getting in the game. I just hope if Phoenix did get in, he'd have his Papa Beanie as an alt. I like Papa Beanies. Also, it's worth noting there's a glitch right now that could potentially point towards Phoenix Wright. Over on Twitter, IcyFGC wrote, guys, I think I may have broke Cloud, LOOL. So essentially, Cloud's cross/side special leaves a symbol, the Japanese kanji Kyo, which means curse or misfortune. However, what's happening here with this glitch is that the symbol isn't disappearing after the attack is over. So potentially, this is being caused by the Smash team working on some character with a move that has a similar concept, creating a giant symbol or text as an attack. The first character I can think of who might have some sort of attack that would use giant text symbols is Phoenix Wright. His objection word bubble comes to mind immediately and would almost certainly be one of his attacks. And likely it would have similar properties to what's going on with Cloud's cross slash, a flat floating text symbol like the Kyo kanji created by Cloud's attack. I have seen some people claim this glitch isn't new, but I haven't seen any proof of it existing before, and unless I'm forgetting, I don't think I've ever seen this glitch before either. Also, even if the glitch did exist before, we'd have to know just how long ago it was first spotted, as even a couple patches back could still fit for the theory that the glitch could be pointing to a future fighter. The Smash team likely doesn't work exclusively one at a time on fighters, so if this is being caused by the final character, and say this glitch first showed up with like Pyro and Mithra or something when they were added to the game, could still totally fit. This is speculative stuff anyway, but unless this is like a very old Pass 1 or base game glitch, I still think it's worth looking at, and until I see proof of it existing beforehand anyway, I can't even confirm if it's an old glitch or if it's actually brand new and showing up right after Kazuya, because this is the first time I've seen it was after Kazuya. Now, as always when talking about glitches, I have to warn it's highly speculative to think that they are being caused by something being worked on about a future unrevealed fighter. Guessing that this Cloud glitch is happening because of a move being worked on for a character like Phoenix Wright is very, very speculative. Even if, for instance, Phoenix Wright was the final fighter and had a word bubble moveset with text attacks, we would never know for sure if this glitch was actually caused by the team working on that fighter or if it was just a random glitch. We have, of course, speculated about old glitches in the past, and sometimes we've gotten characters that appear to solve the glitch. That one of the DLC fighters we've gotten has some similar property to them to a glitch we were guessing at, and it looks as though something about that fighter we got confirms that the glitch was likely happening because they were working on that fighter. But even then, it's still unconfirmable if that's actually the case, if the glitch was really caused by the team working on that fighter. These glitches and the potential characters that might have caused them is just something we will likely never get confirmation on. Also, glitches can, of course, totally just happen and be unrelated to any future character. The entire premise of speculating about these glitches is shaky at best. We know that the Smash team does use characters as a base to create future fighters. But beyond just that, the whole concept that glitches pop up due to future fighters being worked on is totally speculative, so please keep that in mind. And even if these glitches are due to future fighters, it can be very difficult to accurately guess at the correct character the glitch could be caused by. Without having hindsight after the fighter is released, and we can see potentially what move may have caused a past glitch we were speculating about, it can be nearly impossible to guess the fighter correctly just from knowing the glitch. While my guess for this Cloud glitch, if it was pointing to a future fighter, would be that potentially it's pointing to Phoenix Wright, other people have pointed out other possible characters, such as Doomguy or Akuma, which could also involve similar looking symbols to Cloud's cross slash. Good luck guessing at who that fighter could be. Again, my guess would be Phoenix Wright if that's the case with this one, but that's just a guess, and our guesses at these characters are actually usually wrong. Also worth noting, Cloud was updated a bit when Sephiroth was added. So if this glitch is a bit older, maybe it was caused by the changes to Cloud that happened during this pass when Sephiroth was added. Again, I'd have to see proof it existed back then, which I haven't seen, but it's a possibility. Anyway, my guess for who this glitch could point to would in fact be Phoenix Wright. And I do think a Capcom rep seems plausible as the final fighter. And Phoenix could make a lot of sense too with his history with Nintendo and everything. So we'll just have to wait and see if that's what we end up getting at the end. Now I don't want to talk too much about this, but it's worth noting that we had that whole head hurtbox glitch where projectiles were going through fighters as they dashed forward. Kazuya has his dash that gives him invulnerability and thus projectiles go through him, which looks very similar to the glitch that we were speculating about. And most people, including myself, immediately assumed this is likely what that glitch was about. It was happening because they were making this dash move for Kazuya. Again, guessing at anything pointing to a future character is speculative, but that's the guess. Now, I've seen people, including the person whose tweet was where I first heard about the whole projectile hurtbox glitch thing, saying that Kazuya's dash isn't likely what the glitch was about. The glitch causes projectiles to simply pass through the fighter, but Kazuya actually gets invincibility. So my understanding is the glitch is causing the projectiles to do nothing, whereas Kazuya is gaining invincibility, not negating projectiles. I could be wrong about that understanding of this difference. I'm no expert in the inner workings of the game, and I don't claim to be at all, but that's my understanding. Anyway, regardless, I still personally think Kazuya's dash was in fact where that glitch was coming from. Guessing that glitches were caused by any fighter is, again, very speculative, and likely can never be confirmed. But I personally think Kazuya's dash is where that particular glitch came from. I don't think a glitch is going to ever be the same as some attack or move or property of a fighter when we actually see them. So what move might have caused a glitch will probably never be the same as the glitch itself. Keep in mind, these are glitches. They are unintended, and we are just speculating they might be unintended side effects of the team working on some future fighter's move or something. So again, they're unintended, they're side effects, they're not the move itself. So I would never expect the finished fighter and the glitch to function one-to-one. They would of course be different, and the Smash team may have been experimenting with different ways to create a similar effect before they landed on how they wanted to actually create the property for the fighter. For instance, the team experimenting with different ways they could get Kazuya to dash forward and have projectiles move through him might have had the team trying different ways to create a move with that outcome. So since the projectile glitch and this dash move Kazuya has have similar concepts, moving forward through projectiles, and we'll never know the full development history of the team creating that dash move for Kazuya. And again, even guessing at glitches being caused by moves is highly speculative in the first place. I simply don't expect the final move in the glitch to function exactly the same at all. So again, I personally think having this glitch and Kazuya's dash move is enough for me to believe this is possibly where the glitch came from. And I'm not going to hold out hope that the final fighter will have a move that fits better for this glitch. Is it possible a future fighter could fit this glitch better? Sure, definitely. But considering glitches don't even have to fit for any fighters, they could have just happened randomly, and we have a decent fit for this glitch with Kazuya's dash move, I'm not going to expect a better fit to still be out there. It could have been caused by Kazuya's dash move being made. I've also seen people saying the glitch is still present in the game, so it must be for some future fighter. If it was caused by Kazuya, the glitch would have been gone when he was added. Personally, I don't understand this argument at all. It's a glitch, and unless the Smash team catches the glitch and fixes it, it doesn't have to go away when a character they were working on, who might have caused the glitch, shows up. I really see no argument here. Glitches might never get fixed, but could still have sprung up initially from a fighter being worked on. Which, again, and I hate to keep repeating myself, is speculative to even think glitches are caused by fighters being worked on in the first place. But if glitches are actually caused by fighters being worked on, having that fighter added to the game does not have to remove the glitch. There's no reason to think that would happen at all. Alright, well I think this video is getting long enough. I'll close with a few of my overall thoughts about speculation moving forward as we enter the final leg of Smash Ultimate DLC speculation. We have a lot of fan rules and patterns and stuff people are still talking about and clinging onto, but 9 times out of 10, they amount to nothing. So as much as I love speculating Smash and talking about all this stuff, I wouldn't suggest holding on to any of these patterns and theories and stuff too hard for the last fighter. It could really be anybody. We only have one fighter left, so a lot of the fan rules that claim something or someone isn't going to happen will likely come true as only one fighter will happen, and thus a lot of these rules about who won't happen will end up getting quote-unquote confirmed. However, keep in mind that doesn't really confirm those fan rules. It's just how things went down in the end. For instance, we might not get any upgraded assist trophy characters. But Sakurai didn't seem against the idea of adding Springman. It's just not how things went down for that character. So try and keep that mentality in mind for the end. I get the feeling there might be a lot of people saying, "I told you so," about these fan rules and patterns and stuff once they get confirmed, but truly they aren't being confirmed. It's simply de facto how things went down. But likely none of these patterns and fan arguments were actually a strict rule behind the scenes that Sakurai and the team were following. They just came true because only so many characters can make it in the end anyway. I also want to say I truly believe Challenger Pack 11 could be anybody. While I've talked about a few characters in particular in this video, like Phoenix Wright or Nahobino, the Shin Megami Tensei 5 protagonist, and a Rhythm Heaven rep, I'm not locked in for sure on any of those. And while I'm not banking on a super hype final character, like Master Chief or something crazy, I'm also not counting them out. It's very possible this whole thing ends with a first-party character, or someone else that people don't find super hype for whatever other reason. But I also think Sakurai likes to surprise us, and this is the first true ending to Smash in a long, long time. Development went from Smash 4, Wii U and 3DS, straight to Ultimate, to the first pass, to the second pass, and so if Challenger Pack 11 truly is the end of all of this, this would be the first character Sakurai and the team actually see as the ending. Those other endings that the fans saw for Smash weren't the end behind the scenes. This time it might actually be the end behind the scenes. Whether that means a super hype finale character or not, I don't know, but anything is possible. Don't lose hope for a fighter until the end. While I seriously doubt my most wanted character Geno has a shot at this point, I'd love to be wrong. And Smash has been so unpredictable and full of surprises, I do think any character could show up in the end. Even a really surprising one we've totally counted out. Especially after the Heihachi Mii costume basically had us all counting out Tekken, I think we could totally be surprised at the end. Also, how they reveal this last fighter, I'm not sure how it's going to go down. But it very well might end with a Mr. Sakurai Presents ... like what happened with Byleth. And if that's the case, then there would only be one more after video for me to make, basically just wrapping things up. If we get a character revealed and then Sakurai does a presentation following the reveal, then I can make another one of these after videos in between that. But that might not be how it goes down. So in case there aren't any more of these after videos, I hope you guys enjoyed them, and they're fun wrap-up videos. They've been a bit of a chore to make, to be honest, but they're also a lot of fun as well. So thank you guys for watching them and keeping up with all this speculation. It's super fun. So sincerely, thank you guys for watching these after videos. I know they've been some of the most popular videos on this channel, and it's been really fun speculating Smash alongside with you guys. Obviously, if we're still months away from Challenger Pack 11, I'm sure there'll be plenty of other speculation videos until then, but these after videos, this could be the last one, so thank you guys for watching them. Alright guys, well that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. I was going to mention the Nintendo Switch OLED stuff, but I'll probably save that for a less Smash-specific video, as this one's already getting pretty long. If you guys have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, leave them below. I'm gonna go play Neo The World Ends With You. Catch you guys later.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to PapaGenos!
Twitter, Patreon, Discord.